Today I'm with Jason Thomas, my favorite of JMJ Financial, and he is here with the latest mortgage news, and it's a doozy. So, Jason, what is going on in the world of mortgage?
Well, thanks for having me on again, Holly.
Yeah.
I appreciate it as always.
Yeah.
So, we actually have some good news with rates over the past, let's call it 2 months now. Things have been moving in a downward trend, which is great. Earlier this year, we were still hovering around 7%.
Yeah.
A lot of lenders are down even under 6% currently, or low sixes, depending on, your equity position and credit and all that. But yeah, I would say most lenders are quoting very, very low sixes on a 30-year fixed right now.
So I noticed that more people are out there house hunting right now. I think it's a combination of some positive news about the rates, as well as, people coming back to reality from, vacations and all of that summer stuff. And I also think people are just trying to get their feet wet. Like maybe they're going to dip their toe in a lot further once we hit the spring. So I think a lot of people wait for that spring rush, but should they wait?
I always tell everyone if the best time to buy is when you're ready. So if you think you're ready now, there's not really any reason to wait. I understand there's people have their wants and needs, and that may not be out there for them.
Yeah.
So then maybe they do want to wait a little bit, but it's great that rates are going in the direction they are right now.
Yeah.
But nothing is a guarantee. So we don't know where rates will be in the spring. It does seem that if things continue in the direction that they're going, maybe rates will be a little bit lower then.
Yeah.
But maybe not. We've seen things reverse course a few different times now over the past few years.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't bank on that. But if your plan all along was, I'm going to wait until the spring because that's when it's the busy season, that's when there's potentially more properties on the market to choose from. Sure, yeah, then maybe. Yeah. But there's also a lot of good reasons to buy as we head into the holiday season, as you know, too.
I think that what I'm seeing is that if you have an itch to buy and you're out there looking, I would suggest that you at least talk to a lender and get the ball rolling. Because the fact is, sometimes you're just going to find a house, or the house is going to find you, however it happens. And you wouldn't be ready to make a play if you didn't know exactly where you stood financially. And while it could take, 24, 48 hours to get a pre-approval, maybe even less depending on how quickly everything can get done, sometimes those really good houses go really fast. And there's no harm in having the pre-approval done. I mean, you probably hear the misconceptions all the time. People are afraid to have their credit pulled and all of these things. But how bad is it if you get pre-approved today and you don't end up finding a house till April? Like, is it just a matter of, okay, in January, we'll resubmit updated bank statements and stuff like that?
That's basically all it is.
Yeah.
And I know, I'll speak for us.
Yeah.
Most of our pre-approvals, we don't need to do a hard credit pull. We're usually doing a soft credit pull. We don't do the hard credit pull until you're in escrow. Certain instances, we may need to still do a hard pull to actually determine if you qualify.
Yeah.
Those are people that are marginally qualifying, right?
Okay.
But for the most part, there's no ding to your credit to apply. There's no application fee.
I think those are important points for people to know if they're hesitant.
Yeah, there's no obligation.
Yeah.
You're not stuck with that lender if you're submitting an application with them. That doesn't mean you have to.
Be stuck with Jason, I'm sure.
Of course, right?
He must have to speak to you like Lou.
Yeah, I mean, you're not married to anything that you're submitting. It's just it's really just your time and energy to put forth to submit what's needed to see what you can do.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can relate to that. Putting energy into something that's going to require digging through records and, downloading and scanning and all of that stuff is not fun. Like, no one really likes it. But it is a necessary evil if you want to get approved for a loan. So
yeah, I think I don't know, maybe for some people, going through that process, sitting down with a realtor to discuss your options, talking to a lender, submitting everything, I guess I get that it can be maybe it makes it a little more real for them, and they're not quite ready to take that step. But again, at the end of the day, there's no obligation.
Yeah.
It's just to see where you're at. And it's always, if you want to buy a home, you got to take the right steps to make sure that you're prepared, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And yes, we can turn around pre-approvals very quickly, depending on your pre-approval and your overall credit profile, your job history, everything. But other times it can take a week. We might need to do a little more digging. We might need to request a verification of your employment from your employer, and they might not get back to us for a little while. So if you're banking on the idea of, I'll just apply when I find the house,
yeah,
and you're one of those people that it's going to take a week to make a determination, well, the house might be gone by then.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's also important to note is that sometimes there are going to be things beyond your control as a lender that could draw the process out.
Right.
And so you do have to just be willing to commit to, just figure out where you stand. Otherwise, it's nice to like dream and drive around and look at homes and walk inside of them and everything. It really is kind of just a dream until you know if you can actually, what steps you need to take to make it a reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
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 What would you say to somebody that is just like mind blown at what the mortgage payments would be? Since, prices are quite high and in comparison to rent in most cases, it's going to be a dramatic upshift.
Yeah. Generally speaking, rents are lower than mortgages right now because of where rates are at.
Yeah.
But that doesn't take into consideration some of the benefits of home ownership, like tax write-offs. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a licensed CPA, so don't quote me on anything. I'm not going to give tax advice. But your write-offs, generally speaking, are going to be higher if you own a home and you can write off your interest and property taxes, for example, versus renting where you don't have a write-off at all.
Yeah.
So that can actually bridge the gap and get it a lot closer, than what you may think.
Yeah, CPAs definitely should be consulted in these decisions. And then I was going to ask you, I don't know if you saw the news this morning about Venmo being able to. Okay, so I don't have the whole story yet. I just saw it this morning, but apparently in 2026, there is a company that's going to be working in conjunction with Venmo to accept mortgage payments and rent payments.
Oh, wow.
And their whole spin on it is that you'll get rewarded as the payer for paying on time. So like you might earn, I don't know, trips like airline miles, like credit card points.
So okay.
Which I think is a great incentive.
Yeah,
although I do feel
a great incentive.
I do feel like a lot of people that have their mortgages set up just have it on auto, So like you're going to be paid on time anyway. So it's just kind of the logistics of making sure, how that all plays out. I'm very curious to know. I'm sure there's some catches and, stuff we just need to know about before everybody starts having all their money wired through Venmo. But yeah, interesting concepts.
It is. It sounds like you have cash in your Venmo account and then it just gets taken out as the payment, I would assume. Yeah. Oh, that is. That's another great incentive. I mean, if you can build up, like you said, reward points or whatever it is.
Probably would work really well in roommate situations because, people are always like, oh, I'll pay this and you pay that. And it's like, oh, let's just split it through Venmo.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it's the world we live in. It's just crazy. But I do like the idea of points. It's just, just make sure it makes the most sense for you financially for whatever your, goals are.
Yeah. Don't just do it to do it. Make sure it's actually working for you.
Yeah, because there might be other, things that would be more worthwhile, like money and stocks and, I don't know, all of these things that a financial planner could help you with.
Right.
So, but yeah, just a crazy world. So lots of things going on. And I will be here with Jason every step of the way to report on what is going on with mortgages and the types of loans and programs out there that can really, truly help people if owning a home is their goal.
For sure. Yeah. Lots of options out there. Like you said, make sure you're talking to real estate professionals so you have all your options, and it's always good to, do your homework and get ahead of things.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, thanks, Ollie.
Bye.
Bye.